because they don't like being regulated. It's simply like that. You are telling Coke, listen, from 1st of January next year, your products, all your products, you will have to sell them by law, compulsory with a deposit. And when the consumer returns the empty containers, you have to make sure that they receive back the deposit. And they hate it. And they will fight their utmost to avoid that this happens. It doesn't matter whether it's good for the environment, it's good for the economy. It doesn't matter that it creates jobs. It doesn't matter that finishes with the most abandoned, littered waste things, which are cans and bottles. This doesn't matter to them. To them, it only matters that sell their products without any restrictions and to be able to make money.
Coca-Cola and several of the other companies, they basically want to have maximum freedom to shape the market as they see. And deposit, it's a little annoyance to them. Just as, for instance, sugar taxes are annoyances to big companies such as Coca-Cola. They know that they're going to have a big problem in the future with the way they do business. And they basically want to prevent anything from, mingling into their business model. And if we tackle the deposits issue, then they're also afraid of the next step, what's going to happen next. So that's also why they try to prevent anything, any regulation, anything that might hurt them in some way.
Well, there are a lot of companies that are opposing deposit schemes, and I think, to me, that's sometimes a bit of a mystery. And one question I like to ask companies is, how could we design a deposit system that you would actually support? What are the features that are really the ones that you're fundamentally objecting to? And typically we don't get a very responsive answer to that question, which suggests that much of the argument is a rather dogmatic one and isn't really based on evidence and rational responses to the issue.
Look, I think it's fairly symptomatic and characteristic of industry, whether you're a bottler or a retailer. They just don't like being regulated by government, particularly with the bottlers and now the retailers, because they have their own brand products. They believe in the disposable container system. That's their fundamental marketing element, fundamental packaging element. And the deposit refund system is a fundamental attack on their marketing ethos. Now, of course, they're going to resist it, but it's up to the community and governments, environmentalists and scientists to actually call them out on this, because it was the wrong packaging decision and it's now causing enormously harmful litter and marine plastic problems.
You asked whether these companies think they may be being controlled. Of course, companies like to have the freedom to act in their own markets as they feel they should be allowed to. But I think, we're facing some problems of a global magnitude that we have to address. And the more forward-thinking companies, I think, will start to look at some of those problems and start thinking, well, actually, if we want to have a strong license to operate in our markets from our consumers, then we do have to do things that will act to really engender a fully circular economy with beverage containers, and so they will start to look to do things themselves. The thing is, they can't do it on their own. No one company can do this because nobody at the moment collects only their packaging at end of life, so you have to change the whole system. So they've got to start to work together to do that.